introduction of Plum to the stage.
I do not know. My name is Eliza. First time I saw her, I knew she was mine. Said my eyes and smiled. Her lips were I knocked on my door and entered the room. My trembling subsided in his sure embrace. You were my first man, and what a careful man. He wiped down the tears that ran down my face. I remember he asked if you would be okay. The winter frost was biting into our fingertips, and I felt the pain of what would happen if I said no. He would lie in the dark of his caravan and worry. More than worry, I knew that pain well, and although by that point I hated him, I didn't want him to feel it. I said yes, she'll be fine, don't worry. I closed the barbed wire fence that the horse was stuck in and got in the car to London. I'd received the phone call just half an hour before. It hadn't been urgent like this, and there was something thrilling about it, very different to the monotonous loneliness and unknowing. Equally bad and scary feelings, but at least one of them had an end. We wish you a Merry Christmas and Silent Night. The chaos of the singing outweighed the awkwardness of seeing you like this. Unrecognizably ill. I sat at the end of your bed and looked at you. This was it. You're going to die. All that we worked for, saving you, all gone now. Your hand felt puffy and strange. The love for you was everywhere, and the unrelenting pressure to keep you alive was fading. We all sat acknowledging this and then left. I wanted to write about the man I loved, but my mother wouldn't let me. She said it's not about that. I love him, he's beautiful. I shan't speak of the Holocaust, that would be insensitive. I wasn't there and had nothing to do with it. I can speak to loss and all that comes with it, and what it means for life. My life, anyway, and how I loved, but I shan't try too hard to explain that part because it'll become too cliché, and you can never understand what she meant to me anyway, so just think of your favourite person in the world, times it by 7, and then listen. If I could touch her, I'd slap her. If I could touch her, I'd slap her for leaving. I slapped her in real life, but we'll try to forget that. After all, we were children. I knew what she meant to me even as a child. I knew my life would be dull without her. I'd die for her, but she got there first. I'd do anything for her. I tell her to come and visit me, but she doesn't, which makes me furious in a hopefully non-delusional way. I think of her feet, then foot, and it makes me cry not because I have a foot fetish. I don't have a foot fetish. Leafrin is very honest with himself. I am too, but prefer a little sugar in my tea. A chocolate coating over the wounds. I think of the shadows dancing and try to catch them. I don't think of you rotting. But I don't just think of you beautiful either. Although you did have angelic tendencies, you were also very neurotic and grumpy. I was jealous, you were jealous. You said our dolls were prettier than each other. I rested my snotty wet face on your cold breast and said I love you. I said wake up. But I'm not awake. I keep forgetting we're all one. I still think of you as dead just because you are. and I'll twist myself in spirals of philosophical mind games, but it's no use. My animal of a body grieves yours. I step out naked to stare at the moon. I fear sleep's uncertainty. I'm more afraid of chores and exercise than I am my own mind, but it's not a careless lack of fear. I respect it. I'm scared of mice and being cold and a lack of meaning. All three at once is awful, and I have dealt with that before. I tackled the mouse first, then lit the fire, then God. God and I are friends. The Egyptian perfume healer said I'm expensive to him, which I liked, but I worry I annoy him and pray too much. Anyway, he didn't grant my wish of keeping Ayla, so I think it's even. I would have loved to keep Ayla. I would love to paint God, and also get fucked twice a day, which feels blasphemous to ask for. I should really be asking a person for that kind of thing, not some universal energy. In the morning, I woke to the words, "She's gone." It felt less predictable than I thought. This was inevitable. Why was I surprised? I just wanted to go back to sleep. I buried my face in the pillow like we were going to bury her. When we got to her house, I remember the corridor. The long corridor, with the room she laid in at the end. I passed her mother and brother and walked into the empty room. She lay still. I was nervous of her at first. Her coldness, her deadness. She definitely wasn't Ayla anymore. I sat by her and cried. There was nothing more to do. I just cried. As much as I didn't want to touch her, I coated her dry blue lips with lip balm. This was slightly out of my comfort zone. I hugged my mother. I was almost ready to touch her hand at this point. "Wake up!" I wanted to scream. "Wake up! It's not time yet!" But I guess it was. After a while, I walked out into the garden where some family stood around. "Goodbye to you, my trusted friend." My dad burst into tears. I always thought it strange when a parent cries. Strange and unnerving. Slight feeling like it's truly fucked. I looked at him. He couldn't hold it in. We all cried too. All of the women and I oiled her cold skin like it was the last time we'd touch her, because it was. The last time we'd be near her beautiful body, and all the emotions and numbness and unknowing flood in. What now? Now sometimes you need to get a haircut, of course, and very, very occasionally change one's name, but not all the time. My stomach ached like the devil was swarming my insides. I was looking at myself in the mirror, observing my naked body as if I was some sort of animal, squishing my flesh as if I didn't know who I was at all. I saw a dominant stare. Wow, this is who you are now. This is who you'll be for a while. Surprised as if I hadn't been living in myself for 20 years, as if I'd met myself in that very moment. Do you miss being invisible? I was very excited because Cousin Orla had never been ready before, but today she was, ready to meet herself, meet the darkness and the light. I thought I was ready for ayahuasca long ago. It's a beautiful plant that has taught me so much about myself. I don't know if I was ready, but I'm glad I thought I was. This naive courage, I think, served me well. Do you think I'll be able to see her? Of course,
not actually Ayla, like not her flesh and everything, but a vision of her, and she'll come down to greet me with her soul, and her soul will come down to greet me, and we can hang out for a while. The shaman replied, "It has been known to happen." Good luck. Come on, Ayla. Come on, Ayla. Come on, Ayla. She's not coming, Dad. She's not coming. I'm praying to her and asking her to come, and she's not. Why isn't she coming, Dad? I was always there for her. I was always. Why isn't she coming now?
Bran, this is just your expectation. Go and put a log on the fire and release it. Fine. I release this expectation. My subconscious is like two bitchy twins gossiping there in the dark. My mind with braces and glasses and frizzy hair shouting, "What are you saying about me?" Every time I block a thought, I worry about what the girls are saying. The night before I left, I crashed my car while getting sushi and then arrived at the rectory. A dog attacked another dog and the bunting was being put up. They waved me off. I felt loved and scared. Hello, Mother. I'm at a Gandhi centre in India and I've decided to be more peaceful. I always thought peace was a bit boring before, but I think I'm going to get into it. Through gritted teeth, I thank the Lord. The holy and the broken, hallelujah. Even though it all went wrong, we still sing. Can you see it? Can you feel it? I love you, he said. After it was cut off, her leg was brought to our house in plastic. We gathered around to open your bag. Full and heavy, barley flesh, what a dream. Are we ready to bury the thing that carried the weight of your body as you did this, as you did life? Will you still do life without it? Are you ready to bury the burdens of physical, existential unhappiness, unwanting, unbeing? Can you do this? We're all watching you swing, we're looking at your own limb, the fear and the numb. We can't scream. The fire heats up around you. Are we all animals? Our personas do not extend this situation unknowing. We could never do this, only you. Like stars in the daytime or a rabbit in the trap, I'm sorry. Pecking the wood on your tired mind, I'm sorry. I wish I could save you. We all do. Watching the grass brush up against you, are you ready to bury, to believe this could happen? To put on more hats, to see death in the distance, to see dead parts on the floor near the fire and the hole, to see that this has happened. This is what's happening. Plod on now, donkey, we're ready. But none of the pedos ever fancied me. When I was 10, I started getting fat. From ages 10 to 12, I had very little compassion. Bumbling around, trying to do life. So ungraceful, so not good, embarrassing, sad, cheer up.
The other girls seem to be doing it fine. They know what deodorant to wear, what clothes to buy. You don't know anything. You're only 11 and you're already a failure, and you look really bad in a bikini. That's what your older stepbrother said. And you just don't know what you're doing at school, and I hate you. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And you're far too loud and confident, and your cheeks go red when you exercise, and I hate that too. But Ayla loved you. And you loved her. And even when she was like that, you loved her. Even when you're annoying, I love your soul. Could I love my soul as I love yours? I also love your face and body and arms and one leg. I love you even though you're buried. I cry and kiss the pictures that are left of you. And sometimes I skip the morning because I've had a dream of you I don't want to wake up from. To hold and love you again in real life. Where are you, Ayla? Ayla? Ayla! To love myself, I'd have to forgive myself. I don't know how or what to be. The inconvenience of a winter funeral. After my stepdad died, they told me not to worry, because he's always looking down on me from above. This worried me greatly, because I was 13 at the time and avidly masturbating. I'd start, and then I'd think of him looking down on me from above, and I'd have to stop until it went away. Then I worried he'd come back from the dead and tell my mum. He didn't come back. I walked down the aisle, took a sharp right, and hopped over the person sitting down. He was minorly attractive with darkness in his eyes, which I liked. "Hello," I said. Irritated to have to talk to another person, he looked up and acknowledged me. "Where are you going?" I asked, comforted by the presence of another. He replied with British sarcasm. "The same place we're all going." How philosophical, I thought. "Do you have anything to suck?" I appreciated that this was quite a misleading question, but I was worried about my ears. He laughed. I rested my head on his shoulder and asked his name. He said it was David, which I thought was quite boring, but he didn't seem to mind. "Are you happy, David?" "I'm fine." He told me a bit about his life and then said, "I'm going to put on my headphones now." I let him do this for 30 seconds and then took them out. He was a little surprised. A tall lady with nice hair gave us a bottle of water and some grazed corn. I was very pleased about this. He seemed to think it was normal and let me have his corn. He asked for some context. I told him I was raised in a hippie commune in Wales, where we all live in yurts and huts and live in the woods and do some gardening while thinking about the revolution. Then we got off the plane. He was worried at the automatic passport machines, as he says it always takes ages for him. I said I'd manifest it goes very smoothly, but it didn't. Then he gave me a hug, wished me well on my play, and I went on my way. I walked over the little bridge and into my room. It was slightly cold and reminded me of my old life and self before I had left. This is it now, I'm home. My ex-boyfriend followed me in. I'd indoctrinated him into the cult a few years ago, and we all liked him a lot. He moved back to Brighton when I broke up with him, which I didn't mind, I just hope he remembered. I think he did. In the morning, Dad and the children woke me, and I told them all about my trip. But I left out the bad parts, the parts of feeling alone and unsettled in a new place. Cousin Orla swaned over, in a silk nightie, Grampy's patterned old trousers, boots, and a fur coat. We were having brunch, but she didn't eat anything. We missed each other, but we didn't say that. We acted as if our hearts hadn't been broken from being parted. The house my father built was huge. It was made of straw and mud and glass. I liked it a lot because it was very beautiful and very peaceful. Him and I always had a very intense connection. I tried to ignore the feelings of mistrust of him that my mother had instilled in me. After brunch, we went horse riding, and then I got my period. Orla and I and Fergus sat in her room, pretending it was like it was before I had left and before Ayla had died. Orla's room was beautiful. It was filled with plants and lovely cushions and candles and empty wine bottles and strewn clothes and delicate lamps and a broken record player but working speakers and big windows and interesting objects from her travels and mirrors and ashtrays. Everyone always liked Orla's room. We sang in the bath for a few hours before the water got cold and she told me she'd been sad. Mazzy Star played, and through the smoke we looked at each other and relaxed our tired, tensed bodies.
Last summer, we'd been in a ceremony where Orla had fully embodied life and embraced her higher self. I was a little irritated that this didn't reflect in day-to-day, but hey-ho. Holding life lightly, looking for you with a dim torch into the underworld, the all-seeing eyes seeing you. When Ayla was 7, she was molested by our babysitter. And everyone always said I was the slut. She didn't tell anyone for 8 years. Only when the cancer came did all of her secrets come out. Well, whose fault was it then? She didn't trust me enough to tell me. My personality was loud and dramatic, and she thought I'd make a big deal about it. Well, it is a big deal. She told me once it was known that she wanted to tell me for years. Years and years, but she couldn't. And every time she opened her mouth, she'd stop herself. And I hate myself that she couldn't tell me. I really do, because I should have been the one that she could tell, and I wasn't. Hair as grey as concrete, teeth transformed from fangs to fake and pearly, you are who you recoil at. Energy is overbearing like a statue in a swamp, will utter your name and laugh about how pathetic you are, but inside we fear your dribbling embrace. I thought of you this morning and clenched my legs together. You chose her, the delicate rose that she was, and called her into a twisted soul so that she'd be left wandering in confusion all her short life. Why? The borders between love and pedophiles not yet pronounced. I think of you sitting in your chair. Do you remember? Do you truly hate your soul, pitying the tiger who has devoured the deer, the gardeners who sat by and let you pick her? Do they forgive themselves? Or does the snake of guilt grip their necks at night? I've seen the shadows. I remember your hands. I did not fear you. Disgust and brattiness kept me safe, yet unprotected by kindness, clawing around the dark. Are the demons eating you now? Sometimes I think of us at the beach, a certain beach in Europe that feels like an island, and I imagine a world where we're is still there forever. It's a bittersweet idea to do things like this. I think of you on the sofa. Oh God, it's so mundane. It's all so mundane. My love for you is so pure and deep, but it's just mundane in the end. I loved you. I love you. I'm only awake to be alone. At least I'm honest about it. Why are you ill? I take care of my thoughts for a day alone, no longer have control of my mind. Where they swim freely without distraction or the off button. And I bathe in my own head like warm pinkish milk, coating my hair in the thick liquid before remembering I'm human. Thank God I can control my own brain today. Not ready for chaos. Not ready to be loved. Yearning for freedom, but too scared to let go. Freedom is to live without fear, but also desire. I'm never free when I'm wanting something. I craft my words and demeanour to get what I want, casually manipulating life. That couldn't end in true happiness because it's not real. I know it's not. But what's the alternative? Not getting what I want. It isn't bear thinking about. I was sitting there, thinking, would I ever love myself? How could I forgive myself? It's not that I've made really terrible mistakes. I've never fallen in love with a child. I wouldn't want him to kill himself. I wouldn't want him to forgive himself easily. I wouldn't want him to kill himself either. I would never kill myself. My mother says it's hard enough to kill a rabbit, let alone oneself. But I see that there's darkness inside me. I see what lurks in the shadows. The jealousy and needy insecurity and untamed sexuality and uncompassion. I see all of that. Let's hope I'm kept in line, but like an animal it will surely show. I thought being old, which is quite difficult because I have slight fear of middle-aged women. They don't find me very funny and don't want to fuck me. All they see is I'm inconsistent with the washing up. And then I thought of you, Ayla, how you'll never be old. And we'll never live together on a peach farm. She put a knife in front of me. The most I do with it is cut cakes, so there's nothing to worry about. Apart from me and my brain worrying about getting old without you. And on this sunny day with fresh strawberries, feeling quite miserable, and just constantly wanting to be in bed, and wishing I'd be the kind of person who doesn't want to constantly be in bed. Whether to shave, whether to smoke, whether to lie. Will I regret not realising my desires, even if they kill me? What would I be if no one looked at me? Would I be free? Would I shower? In our last house, we kept the mirror low, bowing down to vanity, he would say. Ayla believed herself to be more deprived than me, but my mother spread butter badly, so I think it's equal. and we both had ponies. The horses were trotting, the gate closed, lying on the trampoline on the inside. Some things I feel worthy of, but when my stepfather bought that trampoline, I didn't feel worthy. Anyway, it's rusted now, and there's a hole in the middle. And he's gone. And even if it wasn't rusted with a hole in the middle and he hadn't gone, we're too old to jump. There are different levels of meaning, layers of meaning in reality. On one level, it matters how you look, but on the deepest it doesn't, so it's sometimes hard to know where to point yourself. Especially when you get into all this stuff, you realise you should release all desire. But in the real world, as a real life person, it's good to have desire. It's good to have goals and ambition. It's good to brush your hair. Sometimes I only care what God thinks of me. Am I correct with the divine? But then I get lost inside my head and dismiss the physical world entirely, which would be a mistake, surely, because after all, I am here. I am breathing and bleeding and alive. Even if it all is an illusion, on one level it's very real. Sometimes I'm scared to put effort in, just in case it's wrong. Find up trudging through the sand, going around in circles. I'd absolutely hate that. The lack of meaning terrifies me, jolts me to the core, and I have to grab my bed frame just to hold on to something. My whole life was in vain. All of the pain and suffering and even pleasure. That would kill me. I'd lay down my hand elegantly on my head and surrender. Playing chess with myself is like masturbating. I can't stop cheating, wanting one side to win. Carry my body to the sea and be done. Maybe we are all one, and we're just separated to make chess and sex more interesting. To polarize our thinking for precision. Once she got the diagnosis, she was very good. She would never eat or drink anything non-organic. And no sugar, and no starch because that turns into sugar, and no frying of things in anything other than coconut oil because that's carcinogenic. And no smoking by her, or putting your phone by her, and no alcohol, and no blah blah blah. She was meant to have 5 years, but she was given 2, and I wonder on occasion if all that was worth it. If she should have just eaten the ice cream and enjoyed life. I wonder what it says about our lives. She did ayahuasca once and met God, and it told her to accept death. Her mother refused to hear this, fair enough. I wouldn't want my daughter to accept death. I would do a cartwheel, but I'm not wearing any underwear. I remember her as a child seeing where the wild roses grow. She knew all the words. She wouldn't let you play it when she grew up. I understand why. Does this make me real? Standing in front of you like this. The patterns repeat until we learn the lessons. What is my lesson here? To let you go? To let things go? I could never hold on to this expectation. It would kill me because you're never coming back as I knew you. And could I accept that? Accept and love a world that could kill something so beautiful and so like it was nothing. I'll try. Goodbye, Ayla.
They call me the wild rose, but my name was a lie today. Why they call me that I do not know, for my name was a lie today. From the first day I saw her, I knew she was the one. She stared in my eyes and smiled, for her lips were the color of the roses that grew down the river, all bloody and wild. When he knocked on my door and entered the room, my trembling subsided in his sure embrace. He would be my first man, and with a careful hand he wiped out the tears that ran down my face. They call me the wild rose, but my name was a lie today. Well, they call me that I do not know, for my name was a lie today. On the second day I brought her a flower. She was more beautiful than any woman I'd seen. I said, do you know where the wild roses grow, so sweet and scarlet and free? On the second day he came with a single